City workers spend up to 90% of their time indoors, much of it in glassed-in, air-conditioned buildings. Virtual biospheres populated by hundreds, sometimes thousands of employees, all breathing air sucked in from the city below. This is a plant room of a typical air-conditioned office building. Now, outside air is sucked into this filtration system, and these filters are the only thing that stand between any pollution outside and the air pumped indoors. Professor Lydia Morawska tested the air in a city office building to see if the filters really did block out external pollution, especially the ultra-fine particles from car exhausts.
Those particles, being very small, very light, can follow the airflow deep into our lung.
An ultrafine particle is less than 1/10 of a micron. If you picture a millimetre, that's equal to 1,000 microns. Now, we have health guidelines for pollution from fine particles between 2.5 and 0.1 of a micron, but none for ultrafine particles less than 0.1 of a micron. That's small enough to go through the lungs into the bloodstream and be transported around the body where it can cause serious harm.
There are good evidence of cardiovascular disease, damage to the heart, also cerebrovascular disease, damage to the brain.
It's been known for some time that ultrafine particles from vehicle exhausts are harmful. So when Lydia's team found high concentrations indoors, they were extremely concerned.
What we found was that at times concentration inside was up to 5 times higher than concentration outside.
So how could that be? Perhaps if the particles were emitted within the office and air was constantly recycled, their levels would build up.
Rob Hooper. I'm from Crisp Air. We've been invited along this afternoon to prove what Organics actually does in the marketplace. My company, Crisp Air, is a manufacturer of refrigeration and air conditioning systems for the transport industry. And as such, we were looking for methods by which we can clean up air in refrigerated truck bodies, because they have a real stench after carrying certain meats. And secondly, we do a lot of work in the ambulance sector, and you must bring the temperature in an ambulance down very quickly, and as such you cannot bring in outside air. Therefore it is critical that the air that you are recycling within there is brought down rather quickly. And to do that, we were looking for methods that would clean the air up, and that's how we first met with Organics. And they work in the domestic market, and we work in the commercial market, and work quite well together. In a commercial environment, we use our laboratory terminal to test air to see as to its quality. And if it's the quality of air, which we know is generally not good, we have methods by which we can improve it. And that is using the commercial side or bigger industrial versions of what Organics use in the domestic and home market. This laboratory terminal breaks predominantly into 2 different sectors. One is human comfort, and one is the one that you don't really know about. The human comfort levels being humidity, being temperature, and being the CO and CO2 components that's in the air. The CO and CO2 are the ones where you feel stuffy and uncomfortable. The other side of it that you don't understand is the small particulates, which are particulates in the air that are under 2.5 microns, the larger particulates, which are under 10 microns, and TVOCs. TVOCs meaning total volatile organic compounds. Now, these are the glues and gases that leach out of furniture and carpets, and can be reasonably harmless. It's also the odour you get when you buy a new car that everyone likes, so that's a TVOC. Now, these TVOCs really come from ketones. That's the odour that you get, and some are reasonably harmless, but some may not be. Now, but these are the reasons why you end up with itchy eyes, runny noses, and sore throats. With the Organics to prove that what it actually does is take the large and small particulates as well as the TVOCs out of the air back to a comfortable level. This is an example of a cubic foot. The reason we're showing it to you is that is the way that things are measured in America, and as the terminal does come from America, we are showing this as an example only. We're sitting in a typical home of an afternoon, and what we find on the laboratory monitor is that we have a small particulate count well in excess of what is acceptable by the Environmental Protection Association and the World Health Organisation. This home in small particulates is over 300,000 micrograms per square foot more than acceptable. It is also well over on the large particulates. The most important ones are the small particulates because they go directly past the mucous membranes and straight to the lungs. The TVOC content is also high. That's the total volatile organic compound is high, and that can lead to headache and nausea.
If you want to be able to grab the Organics Tower, it is 43444, your item number, 43444, write it down. You'll want to be able to grab the Organics. And Rick, I know that we're now talking about different parts of the home that we all live in. Let's actually talk about those different areas, be it bathrooms and lounge rooms and all those areas where we know we can't see those ultrafine particles.
And let's demonstrate exactly what's happening. We can see right here that we've got the S part and the I part represent particles. And what we're going to see here now is just a small spraying of an air sprayer. We've gone to 10 million small particles, which is somewhere in the order of 20 times worse. The World Health determined quality air.
Wow.
We're now moving, in this scene here, we see 87,000, which is about average, what you should be doing. We're in the kitchen, we're cleaning the bench tops. And you can see we've got spray, we're moving around the kitchen, and the nice thing about this is we will move across, and you can see the different types of products that are used in the kitchen, cleansers, cleaning for dishwashers, etc. All of these things are every day in our everyday lives.
And we think they're good for us.
And we do. And now watch this here. We are now spraying around the laboratory terminal, and what you're going to see is dramatic. We've gone up to 443,000, or 4 times worse than what it should be. The large particle count is even interesting. That's about 6 times worse than what it is.
And what is acceptable for human beings?
About 160,000 particles per cubic foot.
This is from the World Health Organisation. Now, we're in the bathroom. We always have a splash of deodorants.
This shocked us more than anything else. We go in every day, we spray deodorant, we spray perfume, we clean ourselves up, and we think nothing of it. But watch what happens when we spray. We've got a count here of nearly 6 million particles, which again is about 20 or 30 times worse, and we're going to breathe that in. And now these are ultra-fine particles. They're less than 2.5 microns. Remember what we're talking about here.
Now this is outside. We're out in the yard.
We took these measurements, Dr. Hooper took these measurements outside in the yard, and you can see, when you see the reading here right now, 86,000. That's way below the World Health recommendation for air quality, which means the outdoor air there is great. We're in the backyard of someone's home. They're breathing healthy, clean, oxygenated air. It feels great. It's the sort of air that we want to breathe. And this is what we should be having in our home. And if we look at the scale here again, large particles very small, volatile compounds almost non-existent. And this is what normal air should be like. This is what we should be breathing.
This is frightening, and you think you close your doors and you think that you're safe from this. You are absolutely not. And I repeat again, every year indoor air pollution is responsible for 1.6 million deaths globally.
That's right. Now look at this. We're in a typical Sydney suburb. We're walking down the street. Rob Hooper has got his device. What we're now going to look at is what happens on a busy suburban street. Outside a coffee shop, people are sitting having coffee, buying their takeaway foods. He's found a spot, traffic going by. Just think of what it would be like if you're sitting out there having a coffee, riding a bike. 280,000. You know, double what it should be.
Double.
For outdoor air.
And we all eat outdoors.
And this is outdoor air. So we are breathing these pollutants in when we are outside. So what we're trying to demonstrate here is, if the air outside is bad in a lot of places, why new homes, the wooden floor construction, the gyprock type floor is actually held together with formaldehyde. And what happens is the formaldehyde stops it from gluing going hard. If the glue went hard on these floors, it would actually buckle. So this formaldehyde is leaching out, and we are breathing it in on a constant basis. Gases from the fireplace, wood burning stoves, chemical fumes from paints and solvents in the home, carbon monoxide coming in from the attached garage when you move your car in at night. that carbon monoxide, when you open the door, can go into the home, causing more problems for us than anything else in the polluted world.
And the size
there's
of that,
the size of it.
The size of that compared to a human hair, microscopic.
Look at that. Absolutely incredible. Remember, a micron is 1,000th of a millimetre. So you're looking at ultra, ultra fine. They can get absorbed in the alveoli down here in the lungs.
Direct access.
Direct access.
Because of that sign, outdoors, we really
thought
only
about
just
indoors.
started thinking about indoors, and really thanks to Organics, this is where you all can get educated about it. And I know for a lot of you it's confronting, I know for a lot of you it's frightening, but please stay tuned because this is a good news story, okay? We have the solution for you and we'll move into that a little bit later. But of course, this is how Organics works.
Now this is how we work. Quite simply, here is the tower that we're promoting today. Inside the tower is a small glass tube with a metal casing on the outside. Now we actually pass an electric current across this tube, and in fact all the little points of the stainless steel outer coating are like little ionisation plates, and they cause an electric charge as the air flows by, and we actually create what we call magnetised ionisation.
But I like to have my house really smelling nice, and we've got 2 dogs, so I didn't want to use any chemicals, and when I saw it I thought, well, this could be a good solution. Although my dog's very clean, they're inside dog, but you still get the pet smells, and just cooking smells and that as well. It just gets rid of all that, normal house smells, I guess. You get used to it until you have the tower on, and then you realise, wow, it could be a bit fresher. I put mine in the corner, on top of a shelf, so it's sort of covered, no one really notices. I haven't had one person come in and said, what's that? I guess it just looks like an ornament.
Well, the advertisement on the TV was really good, convincing that it was the product to buy. So, I went from there and bought it off the TVSN. Living on a property, we get the smells from the horses and the cattle, and it wafts through the house. And with the tower, we have no more smells in the house. The house smells beautiful. I have it in the lounge. We have a big lounge dining combined. I have it in the corner on a nice little table, and it just wafts right through the place. Oh yeah, it's like living in fresh air. It's a beautiful product to have in your home. It's not noticeable, and I think people come into my house, because it's such a beautiful house anyway, they think the smell goes with the luxury of the home. They just sort of think, well, the house is beautiful, clean as a new pin, smells lovely. So, yeah, don't hesitate. It's the best thing you can buy for purification and lovely fragrance. Well, it's not really a fragrance, it's like a fresh storm. When you've had a rainstorm and it's lovely, you go outside to smell the fresh air. It's really lovely. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a great product. Yeah, and purifies your home, keeps all the germs out, and you never get sick. That's another good thing with it. Well, we're never sick. Hadn't had colds since I've had the product.
Baby, I think it's also safe for her to have a very clean environment. I mean, it's one thing that they put things in their mouth, but at least from my side, I just want to make sure that everything is perfect for her. I used to have it in the kitchen, but I moved that to the baby's room, so I keep it next to her crib. It's kind of, doesn't make too much noise, so it's very, very gentle and peaceful. What I do notice is the dust has kind of come down. There's a lot of dust that collects in my house, but I don't see that much compared to earlier. I think I would recommend it to anybody that has a baby, because you just don't want them to get into any infections. You're trying to keep an environment that just limits them getting infected. So it's good for anybody with children, just to create a better environment for them at home. Using sprays, it's just adding more chemicals to the room. I think I prefer to use organics because it's a more clean and safe way to cleanse your room, and it's a lot better than using any of these artificial sprays and deodorants in the room.